Hello, welcome back to ConversationWay. We're back. Video today of how to fit a stereo into a BMW X5. It's a Sony 9-inch screen, but we'll go through what it is and all the details later on. This is a video just to how to install it really. So yeah, we'll see the process and the stages that it takes and then get it installed. So just going through the list of equipment that we've got going in the car. Start off with the actual screen itself. Sony stereo. The two 6-meter cables for the back of the stereo, so it converts it from the back to the front, because all the stuff in the BMW X5 is at the rear, the amp and stuff. But if you've got the single stereo, then it's not, then all the stuff's behind the dashboard. But in my case I haven't, so I've had to buy the lead. 6-meter aerial cable, rear view camera, speaker adapters. You don't need them, but it just makes life easier, you don't have to cut anything. 2 sets of Alpine Type E speakers with tweeters to go in all 4 doors. Speaker adapters, not sure if I need them, but listed on eBay said I needed them, so I bought them. RCA cable and also DAB aerial. Apologies for the quality of this, but this is the stereo that we've got inside already. It's quite a standard BMW X5 stereo. You can get different ones. I'll get pictures up on the screen in a minute to see what other ones there are, but this is the most common one, I think. Don't quote me on that. But so it's the nav screen. It's got a telly built into it, but we're going to replace that, like I said, with the Sony 9-inch screen. And we're going to go ahead and take this out in just a second. Doesn't really like where I am in the sun here today, but so when you first start taking out the stereo, you need to take this trim off around the stereo. So all I've got, basic trim tool. You don't even need that really. You can use a splattered screwdriver. Just be really careful, and I really wouldn't recommend doing it near the wood, just in case, you know, you might chip it or something. But yeah, you take the trim off, and then underneath there are 8 screws dotted around, but be careful because there's 2 hidden ones. There's one there and there's one there, but I'll show you that in a second when I get this trim off. Trim's off. That was easy enough. Stick that down there, and then you'll see the screws. These ones I was on about down here, the hidden ones. 2 there, and then around there, up there. I don't think there's any up top. Right, so that's the stereo out. I'll show you. There. So I didn't have as many screws in as it's meant to, so I only had to take 3 out. So you're gonna probably have to take more out, because I've seen other people that have taken them out that have took about 8 screws out. So just be careful of that. And also the behind of it, I seem to have a real deep hole. Sometimes I've seen people with like cages and stuff behind, but it's got a really deep hole in it, but that might cause some issues, but hopefully not. But yeah, the 2 wires that you see here, the blue and the white, they just basically go clip out from under the stereo there. They got quite easy little toggles on the back. You just basically press on the clip there, and then it will just peel back and it will come out. So that's pretty simple to do. Gonna get the new stereo out now and see how it sort of goes in and how it will fit, because I'm quite alarmed about how big that hole is, but if not, we'll work out something to get the stereo in. Once you've got the stereo out and you're ready to install the new stereo, you've got to do all the complicated stuff now and get all this stuff out the boot. Typical, someone's drilling just as I'm trying to film something. Brilliant. But yeah, take all this out, spare wheel, because what you need, where this 6-meter cable goes to, is all under the spare wheel, but we'll get to that in just a second. But now is part of the YouTube magic. You don't get to see me take all this out. The next video you see, it'll all be out. Everything's out the boot, so now we've got to take off these. Oh Christ, this is odd. That one, one in the corner there, that one, and that one. Then this bracket should lift out, and then you can see what's underneath it. This is the air tank. Don't disturb that too much if you can, especially as all the lines go into it and stuff like that. Don't disturb that. But I'm going to lift this out and then just literally lean it up against where I've sort of moved the spare wheel assistant thing with, and yeah, we'll get underneath it and then see what's what. Once you've taken all the screws off, there's a little cover, looks like that. it's just 3 Phillips screws, and that'll come out. You'll see where they are, it's quite obvious. So the rear amp, mine's not DSP, just to make that clear, it's not a DSP version. Haven't got a DSP, so I only need the cable that you've seen, the 6 meter cable. If you do have a DSP, then you need a DSP bypass cable, another 6 meter cable. Other than that, so in a minute I'm going to take this off, which will leave a quad lock connector, which will plug into this big 6 meter one. So that'll go down to the front as well as the aerial, which is there. Ignore these like little blue tabs and stuff. That's because I had a line out converter, you'll see there, because I used a sub before, but you won't have that in yours unless you've done it. Otherwise, yeah, we're going to take the quad lock connector out. It's probably best to test the stereo, to be fair, before you start running all the cables and stuff, but I have confidence, so I'm going to run the cables anyway, and then deal with it if it doesn't work then, but it should be fine. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Oh, the amount of bits you have to take out, it's no wonder people are charging £300 or £400. Side of the trim where the top of the seat belt and the tonneau cover goes. Other bits and pieces, trim pieces, I'll just show you in the car. This is where we're at so far. Took the side trim off, near the headliner, all the side panels out, bottom mounting panels. That's got to come off because the cable needs to go behind it. I'm struggling with that, but otherwise it's going to take a long time, but it should be worth it, I hope, and we'll get it installed. Okay, so where we're at now, so it's all plugged in, aerial cable's plugged in, the 6 meter cable's plugged in. Now you're going to run them where the existing goes. You are going to have to take off a bit of trim up there, that just the top half. You don't need to worry about the bottom half, because if you can see, that is a pain in the arse to get out, so don't worry about that. But put it behind there, pull it forward, put the cable through, and then start threading it through to the front. And then I'm going to show you what's next. So once you've got the cables through the side there, through the left hand side of the boot, start putting your cables through the car. I haven't tucked them away yet, but I'm just putting them in sort of situ. If you can hear that grinding, I apologise, there's some guy over the road building a house. But yeah, put all the cables through. I had to take the glove box out. It just makes it a lot easier because the cable, the quad lock on the end of the cable is really thick. But once you get it in, thread it up through the dash, and then it'll come out, and then we've got it there. So far, that's took me about 2 hours to do that, but I'll show you what else I've done as well while I've been there. I'm not going to go through every step on it, but I'll put a rear view camera on, if you can see that. So I'll put that on in there, as you can see. Run the wires. Going to run all them, so it'll have a reverse camera as well. It's just time to start sort of testing everything now and putting everything back to how it was. Right, so we're at the stage now where it's all wired in. Reverse camera, I've just got to sort that, but that's for another day, that's for another video as well. Everything's all done, all the wiring's tucked away. I've just got to put trims back on. As you see, this has got to be reattached yet, but that trims, that will go back. That just needs to be clipped in down there, so you won't see that. Under there, it's all buttoned under the carpet, so you won't be able to see none of that. I've got to put the glove box back in, but we're at the stage where everything's in. Screen comes on and works, fascia plate's got to be fitted, cage has got to be fitted and stuff yet. But we're at the point where it's all in and it all works, so it's about 400 or 500 quid saved. Just to put everything back together now, which takes the most time, to be fair. It takes probably about an hour and a half to take everything out that you need to. Hour and a half fitting it back up, hour for everything else, so quite a long job. But there we are. Right, we're at the point now where glove box is all back in. Just need to tidy some wires up underneath. There's 4 screws on there, and then there's 2 in the bottoms down under there for the glove box. That's all in, all wires are run. So when you're doing an X5 and you're putting in basically a my new screen head unit is only single din, as you can see, but you have to buy the double din fascia, and you can either put a blanking pocket up there, but in my case I'm going to leave it blank, because when I put the screen in, it's going to be flush to that, well, near enough flush, so you're not really going to see it, and it's, to be honest, not going to bother me. I brought a single din fascia which didn't fit, because it's only designed for single dins originals, that basically a bit trim bit comes along here, and it's the same sort of, if you've got wood it'll be wood, it's like a little flap which goes up and down, so it just doesn't work. It's too short, it's about that much too short, so you have to buy this double din fascia and do it that way. But it's all buttoned in now. I've had to screw it up the top. I won't show you because it took me ages to do it, but yeah, I've screwed basically when you buy the adapter you get two side mounting plates, and there's basically two holes at the top of them. I've screwed them in there and there, and it's absolutely tight as you like, that is. Fascia plates on. I know it looks a little bit dirty, but I'll give it a clean once it's done. Like I said, all cables are run. That USB for this Sony head unit goes into the back of the screen, so again, that's fine, you're not going to see that. But other than that, right pain in the arse job to do, but saves a lot of money in the long run if you can do it. And you know, I'm not a mechanic, I've never done anything like this before. I just followed instructions and common sense and got it done. So you can definitely do it. It's a job you can do at home, and it's a job that will save you hundreds of pounds. I've been quoted, two or three people have quoted me £300, £400, £500, you know, to do it. So it's definitely well worth taking the time and doing. Steering wheel controls all work, which is good. So yeah, you don't lose no functionality. There's a couple of bits you might lose from the original computer and things like that, but to be honest, it's so old school. For me, I haven't lost anything, just gained a decent screen, and it works absolutely brilliant. And I'll give you a demo once the screen's all in, and yeah, it's all on. Right, that's it. So the Sony head unit's installed. That's it's a long time, it took me a while to do it, but it's done now, so that's all good, and everything works fine as it should. Can't obviously play any music for it because of copywriting issues and things like that, but yeah, all all the USB works and things like that. Everything else, DAB, radio, Bluetooth, phone. Great head unit. Rear camera, I haven't sorted that out yet, but that'll be for another video and another day. Been a bit lazy, put the mic over there just because it's easier than running it from the top of the car, where the sun visors are and stuff. But yeah, it's all done. Thanks for watching. I hope this really helps with not only just BMW X5 owners, but anyone who's trying to install a Sony head unit. And yeah, if in doubt, call upon a professional, but I think anyone can give anything a go, so try it. If you don't succeed, call the professionals. What's the worst that can happen? Anyway, thanks for watching. Remember, like, subscribe, and keep an eye out for the next one. Thanks very much. Bye.